Hi everyone, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home. Thank you for joining me, and as you saw in the previous pictures, I'm going to show you how to do aperture cards just using shapes from Canvas Workspace. If you don't feel like doing it, again, my files are always free to download on my Facebook group page. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to do it. So as you can see, I've picked a tree, a bauble, I've made a cracker, just the words, and a star. And they all make apertures that you can either stamp a sentiment on or do whatever you like with. I'm going to show you, they're all basically the same. I'll show you how to do the whole of the star. And then I'm going to show you how to get these three shapes. That is literally just words. And then we'll go over to the craft table and I'll show you how to do different things with them. I'm not going to show you how to make the whole outline and everything because it's the same concept for all of the things that we're going to do. So first of all, let's get this out of the way. Actually, let's keep this out. So this is literally a rectangle and a score line to do an A5 folded card. So the size of the rectangle is 11.5, and I've done it by 8. It's normally a little bit bigger, but I've done it by 8. It's normally 8 and just under a quarter. So the score line, so if you grab both and centralize them both ways, there we go. We don't want them grouped, okay? So now for the star, I have picked this star here because I feel like it's a bit more Christmassy if you narrow it down. Now I worked out for this size card, the best size to work this out, the width cannot be bigger than 4. So if we go to 4 on the width, you can see it's quite a nice size there. So what I done, to make sure we could get it in the center where the fold is, we need a shape that we can put over here. Now it's actually going to be 575 by 8. I'll just get them to and make sure that they are the same. There you go. Now we grab this shape, we are going to send it backward until that shape comes forward. So we grab them two and make sure that they're centralized like that. So now we know it's right in the center of the front of the card. Now we're just going to duplicate and duplicate again. So this one we're going to put down here. Now this one we want in the same place as the other one. Now them two we are going to subtract, and then we're going to pick this one and this one and subtract. So now they've both got a hole through them. And before we do anything else, that can go back to the back. This one we are also going to use so that we can do one mat. And the way to do that is go offset, and you want inward. I'm going to do 08, I think, or you can do 12. So when I say 08, I mean this space in 0.08 or 0.12. Let's try 08 and see. So we want it bevel because it's a star shape. So I'm just going to try again with a 12, and I'm going to see which one looks better. Okay, I think I prefer the 12. So that is going to be the mat and layer. Now, just so that you know what I'm talking about, I am just going to colour it. I'm just going to do a very pale blue for now. If you don't like the middle bit there, all you do is divide. Click. And then you can see through it. So let's just put that down there a second. This bit we don't need for now. because now we need to work on this piece. So this piece is the same as that, because it was the same thing, but we want to do an outline like I've done here. That one's a bit wider. I decided to go a bit narrow. We want to do an outline that we can fit around the star. Okay, for this one, normally I would do an offset line, but I worked out that if I do an offset line, can you see the ends of them are cut across? And we don't want that. We want the sharp points. So I have just duplicated it again and just made it bigger. I haven't gone on a certain size. I've just seen what I've kind of liked with it. So I think I've got a little bit bigger there. You just got to make sure that when it's on there, it's not going to go over the page. That's all you've got to worry about. So if we take just a tiny bit smaller, there we go. And then if you grab them both and center them both ways, then you'll see exactly what you're getting. Now this one needs to be sent to the back, and then you grab them both and subtract, and then we'll colour it and I'll show you what I mean. Let's do a bit of a lighter grey. There we go. So that we end up having the mat on there, and it's up to you what you use for the mat. For me, I'm going to be just cutting out a piece of card and embossing it. I've got an embossing folder with stars on, so I just thought that might go nice, and then inking it up a little bit. And then this one just sticks over the top, and you cut two of them. I'm going to cut them in silver mirror board. Cut two of them so that there's one on the inside as well, just to neaten it up a little bit. And then you just want, so if you duplicate that, so you should have duplicated the large one before you joined them together. I'm just going to get the star again. I have to go the long way round because I forgot that piece. Yeah, sorry about that, guys, because all I need to do is offset really small. Let's try 08 actually. Inward. Yeah. And this piece is going to be a piece of vellum that we're going to fill the aperture with if you want to. And what it will do, we can stamp a sentiment on it so that the sentiment is in the middle and you've got the pattern all the way round. And that is basically how you make all your cards. So we don't need that piece anymore, but just remember to duplicate it first. That was my fault. I do apologise. So let's just group that and move it out the way. I am just going to hide that so you can't see it anymore. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that or that. So now we're going to do the other shapes. Now the Merry Christmas is just literally from the words. I got it from there, literally. And you can do the same thing with that. Use the offset and make the frame. I will show you. So first of all, you need another one the same. Let's do outward 08. This isn't going to make sense, but and then we'll do inward 08. So now we've got one that is exactly the size of the frame. There we go. Now you can make it that small so it's an actual frame, or you can make it a little bit bigger if you want than an 08. And again, if you make sure they're centered and then subtract the inner one and then color it. So let's do a darker blue. If we put it round, it will go around the outside like that. So that's how you do the Merry Christmas. That's very straightforward. This I got from, I think this one, yeah, look. So this is from the embossing section, and all I'd done was divide and take this, got rid of all that, and I just squashed it in a little bit. You don't have to, but just a little bit, and that's it. So that's a bauble, and you do the outline exactly the same as you would anything else. So that's that one. It's very simple. This one, I used the shapes, and I used this one and this one, and where is it? This one right down the bottom here. Now let me show you what I've done. So this, I angled it at 270 degrees so that it's straight up, and then if you duplicate it and join it together by the last loop and make sure it is equal that way. If you're still not sure and you want to go in closer, make sure the lines are meeting. You see they're a little bit out. I've got a feeling I need to go that way one piece. There we go. Now it's straight. So display, zoom to max size, and then we're just going to weld them both. And now I'm going to bring it in a little bit and use the small circle. Actually, I want that a bit smaller. The small circle. What size is this? Let's do this right. Let's do the width at 4. And then we can do that width at 4. If we're doing it right, instead of just guessing it. And then make sure it goes down the center. And we want these central lines on the corners of that. So the central lines of the rectangle on the corners of the shape. And then what we're going to do is weld them both, and that gives you the shape you need for this. Now this one we are going to turn 90 degrees so that it's standing up, and then all we're going to do is fatten it out a little bit. Need it a little bit longer maybe, actually. So I know it's not the height, but we want that to be 4 so that it's the same width as this. Because we've turned it 90 degrees, it's calling it the height, but it's actually the width. Okay, so we think that's about right. And then we will duplicate that, flip it vertically so it's down, and bring it down to the other side. Again, just so that it's over there. And then you get them all. Make sure they are centrally aligned and weld. And that is your cracker. Like that. Just an outline because it's only an aperture, so that's all you need is an outline. And that's how you do that. So again, outlining it all is exactly the same. So this is from foiling, I think. Did I get it from foiling? No. Line drawing then. Yes. There it is. Line embossing. So it comes out as draw. But what I want to do, if you change it to cut, you can offset outward. Now we're going to go close up. So we're right close now. Okay, so for this one, I want to keep the star, and then we are just going to take the outline of the tree. So that's hold shift, you need to pick the bits you want. So that's this bit and this bit, but also the ball that holds it together. There we go. And on the other side, that piece. Trying to get the ball, there we go. And then these two bits here, and again this bit out here, and this side, and this piece, and these two pieces here with the ball that connects it. I'm sure there's another ball. Oh, it's here. And this ball here. No? Trying to get all the bits. There we go. So that's all of them. And then if you drag them out, you'll see there's no separate pieces. They're all together. So I am just going to move over a little piece. And there we go. You can see that they're all together. So if you weld them, the only difficulty we have is that it welds in a single cutout piece. Now you could make it easier on yourself, because it doesn't really matter if it cuts it out, because you're still going to have your aperture. But if you don't want it cutting out the inside as well, I've just clicked on it again, so I've brought the nodes up, and all I'm going to do is start going over the nodes like that and taking out the inner ones. That's the only way I know how to do it myself. Now if you hold shift, you can grab as many as you're able to. Don't want them, so I'll click on them again so I don't pick them. And you can just start deleting piece by piece. Don't worry about the straight lines that come up, you'll see. That doesn't matter. Just keep hovering over loads. But you want to try and not get the outside ones. So I'm going to hold shift again and try and get these ones. Just to make it clear, I held the shift down and just carried on grouping them all. So that's what you're left with, and that can be aperture the same. I know it seems like a pain, but that is the easiest way to have done that. It will be in my files if you feel like you really don't want to do it that way. But that's the tree anyway. So I will make what I will do when I'm off screen is actually do the aperture cards and the frames for each one and put them available to download from my Facebook group page. So if you are not confident enough to do it all yourself, it will be available as a file for you to use. I think the bauble I will do on a 6x6 card, and maybe the Christmas tree as well. I think they might fit better on a 6x6 card. I wonder what that look. I stretched out a bit. No, I like it as it is. Yeah, so I'll do them two on a 6x6, and maybe I'll do the cracker on a DL actually. I'll see what it looks like, but I will make them available. But other than that, I will see you over at the craft table. Okay, I'm over at the craft table. I'm going to show you how to do these two. I've already done the others, but they're all pretty basic in a way. It's just these two. This one's a little bit different, and this is kind of what they're all like. So, as you can see, you've got your main card here, If you want to sharpen the creases, just do that. I have, like I said, I cut that out in white. I've embossed it with stars, and then I've gone over it with a blue ink, and that is that embossing. That is that backing. So I'm just going to glue it on quickly. When you're gluing something like this on, always make sure you just go around the outside and inside edges, because that's going to be the important bit, as close as you can get. A bit out there, because that's the bit you really want to stick down the most. This is an old embossing folder from Crafter's Companion, like about 10 years old, I reckon. Okay, now the vellum you want to stick on the inside. And it will just go over all the edges. There's probably a right and wrong way, but you just want to stick all the edges, and you're putting glue on the front of the star, or whatever shape you're using. Let's get that out of the way actually. I'll get glue on that. So now I'm thinking I probably could have done this a little bit bigger, the border. But anyway, the border, then you stick it over the top of the vellum because it hides it, which is why we've done two. One for the front, one for inside. These are nice because they're just very simple aperture cards. You could do a lot more with them if you wanted to, but to do the basic is still a good enough card. You just have to wiggle with it and make sure they're all fitting in the right place. And there you go. It covers the mess, but it also secures the vellum, or whatever it is you're using, acetate vellum, whatever. Okay, so then the one for the outside. Now this star is going to hide the, I'll just show you, it's going to hide the straight lines. It's going to, so it looks like a full star again. So you haven't got to worry about that. Okay, and there we go. You've got your star with the vellum on it. And then for this one, all I've done, I've got a die that says "Oh Holy Night." I thought that would be the best one for it. I'm just going to do my hand for this one because there's a lot of little bits. It'll take me forever to glue it all separately. Check that your hand is going to be okay with taking the glue. If not, you can put it on your glass mat and do the same thing. And I'm just going to put that in the middle. It's a simple card, but I think it's just something different, isn't it? That's not too difficult to do, but still has an effect. Now this one I went a little bit different with. I haven't done vellum because I thought with the words what I'm going to do first, now this is where you might want to do an inner backing as well. I haven't. I'm hoping it's going to work. So we're going to put the words in the middle like this. And I am going to take the thread. I think I'll do 3. We need to stick it very close to the edge, so I want a very fine tape. I think 3 is enough. And all we're going to do, decide where you want it. Okay, I am just loosening the stick on my top so it's not as bad. So what we want, can have a bit about there. Just fluffing it up a bit on my top so that it's not as bad on the card when I take it back off. Okay, now I'm not too worried about the words right now, just getting the string on. And what we need to do is stick it onto the Merry Christmas and then a little bit of tape across where the frame is going to go so that we know that it's hidden by the frame. I think this is thin enough. Glue is not going to work for this, so we will need to use. Okay, so really the right thing to do would have been to do another Merry Christmas, which I'll do afterwards, to cover the string on here. I will do that afterwards, but so you stick another one on top of it to cover the string. But for now, just a quick note, if you had one of these for the back as well, then you could tape the string all the way up and you wouldn't need to put this on because you could cover it. I might cover it afterwards, but I just wanted to make a note of that. Right, I'm just going to now stick the border. Oh, I didn't reverse one of the borders. Okay, let's just stick this one on the front and I'll explain. So I was a bit silly there. What I forgot to do totally was when I cut these two out, I should have flipped one so that it would stick that way round. I'm going to have to glue it that way round just for now because I've already taken the tape off. But just remember, if you're using, like, all the other shapes didn't matter because they were symmetrical. But if you're using like words or anything, the frame for the back you need to flip. Okay, I'll just do it like this. It's a shame because I love that black. It's a beautiful. I'll show you what it is. So it's this pink frog crafts black satin gloss card. Look, can you see it? Actually, I kept a bit what was left so you could see. Look, it's beautiful card. So I thought that would be perfect. Now I've got glue on here just to stick the strings on, and what I'll do after I take it off camera is I will do another Merry Christmas and stick it straight on behind it with glue so that it's all trapped in there, and then it will work. Now if I take all these off, I'm going to stick them on my camera lid to reuse. Okay, no marks on the card because I fluffed it up a bit with my t-shirt, and then just go as close as you can. Who invented summer holidays, huh? Bloody grandkids. Okay, so that's that, and now you see we'll just put the backing on, which I should have put on first. Okay, so that's a different one because it's got no vellum and you can see through the words. So that's a different way of doing it as well. Again, you'd make sure that you stuck another one to the back so the string was stuck. It was a last minute idea I came up with, so I apologise for not doing that fully right. And you should put the backing on before the frame as well. Okay, so that's them two that I've shown you. I also done this one. I also embossed it. I have got this lovely, it's a really old one as well, Flourish embossing folder. It's also Crafter's Companion, I believe. And I kept the cutout of this one and stuck it to the side, and it's also got a glittery wooden ornament on there just to make it a little bit different. And then these two are just plain and simple, so that's the Christmas tree. I'm going to use the black to show you that I have put a sentiment on there. I just didn't do it very well. It's gold and it doesn't show up. Maybe I should have done a black outline or something, but it says we wish you a Merry Christmas in the shape of the Christmas tree, so I thought that would go well. And this one is the cracker one, and I've just got a sentiment from Design Bundles and use that. And that is again a very straightforward simple one, but they've all got the frame inside. Yeah, so that's all of them done as simply as I could, but I've shown you a few different ideas as well, like the Christmas, the bauble. That's got a die. These two are written on. You could stamp as well, but these two are done on the scan and cut. Drawn on the scan and cut, I should say. So that is all your aperture cards. I hope they help. Nice, quick and simple cards. I obviously, as always, they will be available on my Facebook group page. And what I've done, although they're all in one folder, I've grouped each card with its parts separately. So there's 5 groups in there for each card. 5 groups in there, 1 for each card. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.